Hello, it is October, you know what that means. Spooky season is upon us. This video was actually made for Halloween 2024, but one of the projects just didn't get done in time, and then it was past Halloween and I didn't feel like posting it, but we are here now. It is ready. But I thought I'd throw it in as an extra spooky video this month because my Halloween video for this year isn't very spooky, it's more costumey, so yes, I hope you enjoy, and I will see you at the end to recap. I hope me from a year ago was coherent and clear about our plans. Hello and welcome to my spooky sewing. Today we are making a spiderweb skirt. I was at the shops the other day where I bought this adorable mug. I've always loved ghost mugs and I've always thought, don't get it, you don't need something so seasonal. But I did cave this time. I try not to buy things that are one season specific, but no one can tell me that a ghost mug isn't appropriate all year round. Let me grab a coaster and put him on the shelf. I've never really done Halloween. The most I've ever done was make a cape and go to an event where I was outside all night in like misty drizzle. I have to say, the cape worked. It kept me dry and comfortable. But while I was at the store, getting my pretty little ghost mug, I did come across a tablecloth. I love making clothes out of things that clothes aren't maybe meant to be made out of, and tablecloths work great. They're a big piece of fabric for usually pretty cheap. This tablecloth has scalloped edges like the edge of a spider web, spider webs through it, and a few spiders, and I just thought it would make a really cute skirt or overskirt. And that's what we're doing today. It feels a lot better than I anticipated. I was kind of expecting it to be like a crunchy plastic. I don't really know how else to describe it. It definitely is plastic, but it feels kind of like curtain, I guess. I don't know. This would make such a fun Halloween curtain. But as you can see, there is a spider. I think it's really cool. So I want to make a skirt. I don't have any Halloween plans this year. Halloween is not falling on a weekend or anything, so there's very little you can really do. So this is really for me to wear during the season to feel cool and fun. I want to try and preserve as much of the kind of scalloped edges as possible. It's really hard to show this to a camera. I think it's nice, like the web, but it is a rectangle, and that's gonna cause a few problems. So I think I'm gonna lay it out, have a look. I'm thinking of doing like a handkerchief skirt. Is that what you call them? Is it only a handkerchief skirt if you add the extra triangles? I'm basically gonna make a circle skirt, but a square. Which means I'm probably gonna have to cut the middle of the rectangle out to bring it in to be a square. I did consider leaving it a rectangle, but I think it'll be just like a bit too long and not quite what I'm looking for. So yeah, I'm gonna lay it out and see what we can do. I just realized autofocus wasn't working properly, so if I've been a bit blurry, I'm sorry. How long do we think this lipstick is gonna last? How quickly do we think the ghost is gonna be wearing it? The issue with living in Australia is that you don't really get to engage with these kind of holidays. Sure, you can do something for Halloween, but it's spring, not autumn, and so, you know, I'm not gonna be putting pumpkins everywhere or wearing sweaters, although I do still wear them. It's still been pretty cold. But for example, I bought myself a cute mug. I'm not gonna drink hot coffee. There's an iced coffee in this. I don't know if you can tell that the ghost is sweating right now, but he is. So the next step is to attach the two pieces. I don't know if I should cut out the waist now or attach them and then cut it out. I'm not sure. I am going to just, I think, put these together so I can treat them as a single piece of fabric and then work it out. I am gonna be so honest with you. I was going to French seam it so that I didn't have raw edges. I can't do it. The thread snapped probably like 20 times. Sometimes I would sew an inch, sometimes I would sew a centimeter and it would snap. I'm assuming it's a tension thing because this is like essentially lace, but no matter how I changed the tension, it was still happening. I refuse to do more than I have to for this, but I was thinking it would probably have been a lot easier if I had a lining so that the machine had a little more to grab onto, but I really want this as like an overskirt. I like the idea of wearing it over more of a bodysuit or even being able to chuck it over like leggings or something just for a little more like swoosh. So I am just going to be making this overskirt, then I can like put it on top of a dress if I want to, just a little more useful. But as of now, it is, where is it? Can you see that middle seam? I have attached the 2 panels and now I can basically just start making it. So I'm just going to take my measurements, use a circle skirt calculator, cut out my circle and get going. I was thinking that maybe I wouldn't do a whole waistband because that's usually how I make a circle skirt, add an extra waistband. I was thinking of maybe just not. These machine issues are making me question everything. I'm thinking about maybe doing it by hand because I think it might actually be easier. I don't know what I'm doing and I don't want to use my machine again because it kept going wrong. So I was doing like a middle step and I think I've decided to leave it this way. Basically, I just decided to stitch some elastic directly to the skirt. If you look at it closely, it looks pretty bad. Honestly, this is the quality of like a costume you would buy in a store, which isn't a good thing. Definitely not something you want out of a handmade garment, but it definitely also does its job. As a over layer, it works. I was going to fold it down again so that it would be fully enclosed. I was gonna just kind of wrap the elastic to begin with, but it kept twisting, so I thought I'd do it like this and then turn it over again and re-stitch it. But I actually think it's fine the way it is. I honestly really like it, and because I'm not doing an extra waistband, it means I do have that extra bit of fabric, and I was looking at it and I liked the idea of having it like clipped up into my hair as almost a veil to like round out an outfit. So I am going to put this on, put an outfit together, and I will see you back for the reveal. So I want to make this bat. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to have a little bat on my wall, so we're gonna give it a go. I would like to make a bat. I actually got started on it the other night and the first row went pretty well, and then I decided to do it in my very dimly lit room when I was in bed, and I think I just kind of messed it up. This is what we're working with so far, but I think I'm going to untie the second row and start again because there are gaps between each knot and in the picture there aren't. So yeah, I'm gonna do that while we chat, I guess. I also have a coffee here. So I was talking to an old friend recently, someone who I haven't seen, God, for more than half a decade, and who I kind of talk to kind of once a year, have a big catch-up, life update kind of thing. And I was telling her like what I like to get up to. And she just kind of was like, you really do like crafting, don't you? You're quite crafty. And like, yeah, I think that sums me up pretty well. I love a good craft. I also have a lot of restless energy, and so having something to do with my hands is always good. It's weird because of an evening I have no energy left. I am quite a low energy person and need my kind of recovery time. But of an evening I'll watch TV and do a craft, and so often those crafts come to encapsulate what I was watching. I have a piece of embroidery that is Dairy Girls to me. It's not relevant to it at all. It's just what I was watching at the time. And I don't know, I kind of love that. I love that it becomes a physical representation of the time you spent watching something. I don't know how to say that and make sense. But yeah, I find it interesting because most of the time the only person who like sees me crafting or who I craft with is my best friend, and it's just a part of our friendship. And for someone else to kind of have a look in to see her interpretation of what's going on is really interesting. I don't know. Does anyone else feel that? Like anyone who crafts but isn't like a expert or knowledgeable in like one particular craft? I know nothing about this, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm not that good at embroidery, but I enjoy it. Same as like cross stitch and knitting. They are just things to kind of keep my hands and mind busy. But there is this idea of me that I'm really good at like doing things with my hands and making things. In reality, I'm actually really not. I'm very average at most of the things I try, but I think just the fact that I do them anyway makes people think I'm good at them. I think sewing is a great example of that. I am not that good at sewing, and that became quite clear to me when I was doing my 8-week sewing challenge. A lot of the garments that I made had pretty significant flaws. The dress, oh god, the dresses I made in particular were just not good. But the fact that I can make something that by looking at it you know is a dress and you know could be worn, I think makes people think I'm good at it. There's also the element of on-camera things are very different than they are in person, and that's something I have to keep reminding myself of. When I watch other people making sewing videos, I can't help but compare myself to them, and the fact that their stuff looks so good and so put together even when they say they're beginners, and mine does not look like that. But on camera it is different. And I think one thing that helped me kind of really lock that thought in is the fact that I got comments of people saying that my stuff looked like decent when I know holding them and wearing them that they're not. That's not to say that everything I make turns out bad, because it doesn't. A lot of the things I make I'm really happy with, but it's definitely not everything. I think there's also just the fact that like clothes by nature are something that you are very intimate with. You're wearing them, they're on your body, and so when they have flaws, you know, you're aware of it, you can feel it. But other people, even that you're interacting with, aren't as aware of that because they're not touching it, if that makes any sense. You know, I made something and went to show my mum and I was like, yeah, I like it, but this seam went wrong and this happened and this. And she kind of looked at me and was like, no one's looking that closely. No one is feeling your seam or, you know, and it's true. I think maybe I'm a little hard on myself. Maybe I need to just let things be. But with that said, I haven't done that second row and can get into actually creating my bat. Hello. I am really struggling with this. I do not know how to do the next step. I have done it and undone it probably 5 different times. I can't get it to go diagonally, it wants to go the other way. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So I completely gave up on the bat. I hoped it would go well, but what I had and what the pictures on the instructions had were very different things. So I put it down and never picked it back up. I was originally just going to hang it half complete on a wall and show you that sometimes projects don't work out. But I came back to it and I finished it, and I didn't do it exactly how the instructions said, and it still wasn't quite right. So I'd like to show you what I got by following the instructions to the best of my ability. I think he's cute. He does have a slight problem with being split in half for most of his body. These things happen, I guess. But I thought a very easy solution would be to sew him up. So I just got some thread and looped together some of the inner cord, and now I love him. Oh my god, can you see that? Hang on. Oh my god, I just nearly set my bookshelf on fire. Oh my god. I knew that would be a bad idea. Can you see that? It's like bubbling. Oh my god. Ah. Fire safety is important. I knew it was going to be a bad idea when I did it. I still did it because I'm stupid, but I was standing right in front of it. I moved it the second I smelt anything. Whew. That could have gone very wrong. I guess we should talk about what just happened. I'm filming this the day I filmed the reveal of our little friend here. Yeah, I nearly set my bookshelf on fire. Was not intentional. I was a little concerned that the candle was a bit tall for where I was putting it. I knew it wasn't very safe. And yeah, I've got a char spot now in there. So, whoops. But with that, it is time for the reveal. This came out far better than I could have anticipated. The entire time I was working on it, I thought it was going horribly wrong, but he's so cute. So, with my near disastrous bookshelf situation and a very cute new craft, I think we're done. The skirt was a nightmare to sew. I don't know what I was thinking, sewing a lace tablecloth into a wearable garment. It didn't want to sew because it's lace, and I didn't do any of the things you can do to make that a little easier. I do love how it turned out. I'm super happy with how this video turned out. For an abandoned craft project, an abandoned video, I think it's come together really well after all this time. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of both the skirt and our little bat friend. Comment down below what you think we should name my little bat friend here. I think he needs a name. But with that, that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye. You're actually kind of cute. Can't believe I came back to this video after a year. I can't believe I nearly set my bookshelf on fire. Don't be like me. I've just noticed that the green with the red lip is reading a bit Christmas. Hold please. Okay, not ideal, but it'll do. I painted my nails for the first time in like a year yesterday. Orange. I don't think I've ever used this nail polish. Can you hear my drink moving around?